But now let's get into the actual gameplay. The first time we're seeing gameplay of MLB The Show 23. So here we go. We're going to turn the audio up just a little bit. So the goal here is get a hit and get an RBI. So you can see the old style school. There he is in the KC Monarchs playing. So very interesting to see. We're going to go skim through this a little bit. But everything looks a little different in this one. So I'm going to do a break by, pitch by pitch, what I noticed about initially about it. And we're going to kind of cover everything. So first of all, everything looks pretty normal right now. We have the old, style, scoreboard. I don't know why the Houston logo is there, but same, thing, bases on the top right. Same PCI. Let's get into the first pitch right here. R2 is still a thing, by the way, for some of you who don't like that. First pitch, we get a ball. Now look at the bottom left. We got to pause real quick. Look at the bottom left. They completely changed this, actually, which I think is for the better. So they have the actual portrait of Jackie Robinson now. They have his clutch right here, his power versus lefties because he's facing a lefty, and then his vision overall. So you can see the stats in game. Obviously, shortstop, right-handed hitter Jackie Robinson. You see the pitch release good. You see where it was in the zone. So I think it's well improved over there. We'll see when he actually takes a swing. What happens to that bottom left and the PCI and everything. So it takes his first swing right there. Completely changed, by the way. There's a lot to notice here. So once again, you have his stats, the name, righty, shortstop. You have his swing time, which was very late. You see it right here. They changed the PCI placement. I think it looks a lot cleaner now, in my opinion. So there's no longer that bubble. It actually shows you your PCI. So he was very late in the PCI, so obviously going to shank right. It shows the contact okay, and then it shows his exit velo off the bat. The LA, I think, is the launch angle. Which would make sense, so 23. So obviously he was just late on the pitch. If he was good, he probably would have got a base hit on that one. And then top left, we have view base and view ball, which we'll get into a little bit later as well. So that's the early things we're noticing about the, I guess UI so far. It looks pretty good. I honestly like it a lot. And then here comes the pitch, ball, and I think the outer parts of the stadium look pretty sick too. So shout out to these new stadiums. So there we go. He gets us to a full count. There's another thing of the PCI. Shows you it's very early, very off the PCI on that one. So very exciting. You don't get to see where it was, like the bubble used to, how close in the middle you could get it. It just shows you the actual PCI. All right, here we go. So now he's about to take his first swing right here. So there's a lot to see right here. So gets his first hack. You can see he was just late. He's got good, obviously great PCI. I mean, that's right down the middle, what I'm saying, of his PCI. So exit velo and his launch angle as well. So here we go. Now we're going to see this view base and view ball coming to mash it. So let's play this out. So he gets it down. He's going for 2 right here. And here he presses L1 view base and slides. So this is a very cool mechanic. I just want to go back real quick. So pretty much what I think this is telling. See, he's pressing R1 right now. So you're viewing the ball, right? He's obviously going to throw home. And then you can view the base to view a slide. So it's kind of like Rocket League. You guys ever play Rocket League with the ball cam? You can go on the ball or you can go in your car. It's kind of what this is. So you can view the ball, and if you press L1 to view the base, and then you can decide if you want to slide pressing R. So this is really cool in my opinion. I think this is definitely going to be added to Road to the Show as well, just because I think this is one of the best. This is a really good feature to add. So he obviously clicks it, hits a slide on there, is safe, and then looks at home, and he's safe. Completes the moment. So really cool, I think, in my opinion. Something that's kind of underrated that they added. So one of the best features to improve the base running experience, in my opinion. What is going on, everyone? We're back here with another video. In today's video, we're going everything about the new feature premiere, about the new storylines game mode, which was actually a really interesting premiere. I think this is one of my favorite ones they've ever done. So let's just get right into this video. So they talked a lot about making it a realistic game, right? So they wanted the storylines to be realistic to the time period. So obviously they're talking about the Negro Leagues was between 1920 to 1960. So they've actually made custom stadiums, custom jerseys, and they actually look pretty sick. So and you see they are wearing some of that merch in the videos. So this is a pretty cool whole stream. They talked about a lot of the history about the sport and how it came up and everything like that. I really recommend you guys go and watch it if you were really interested in the history about the whole museum and everything like that, because it's pretty sick. As you see, we have some of the jerseys here. Let's hit a little pause. So this is the KC Monarchs that most of the guys played for. And their jerseys are pretty sick. They do have the longer sleeves that go down to almost your elbow, and they also have the old time gloves, the hats. Even the wool pants. So it looks pretty sick here. Let's keep going through a couple of the screenshots. Keep going. As you said, the baggy pants, is really prevalent. The short, the sleeves, obviously the gloves. And then here's one of the fields that they released. So there's 6 fields coming out for the Negro League Storylines mode, which look pretty sick. So this is one of the fields. Obviously, it does look like a lot of these look like big boxes. And you see the parking lot, you got a little neighborhood back here. So this is pretty cool. It's pretty realistic to the time period, which I like. Yeah, and I think these stadiums look really cool. And we gotta see how they play for online play. just because this back corner, it seems like people are gonna pick that. It's gonna be really annoying to play, but we'll see how that pans out when they actually come up. And then here's another picture of this stadium. They got the old-fashioned lights, obviously the old walls that they put up. They even want to make the people in the stands have realistic outfits and everything like that, which was pretty cool. Even the umpires have the old realistic style with the suit, which was pretty sick as well, because that's what they used to wear back in the day for the suits and everything like that. So this was pretty cool to see on the umpires as well when they were talking about it. So that's cool. They want to make it realistic to the time period. And then they go in and talk about each player. So they start off with Satchel Paige, and they talked about his career and what he brought to the game and why he was such a great player. They did this with all 8 guys, which was pretty cool, and they all showed in-game screenshots of them, which I thought was really cool as well, because you had the president right here talking about each player and why they were valued to the baseball world and into that time period. So this was a pretty cool part. They dive really deep into the history of each player, what they were like on the field and everything like that. We also got a couple in-game screenshots here as well about each player that they look really sick. So it is cool to get all this history, and it is cool to see them in game for once, because at this point we haven't really seen any gameplay. And the next player they had was Hilton Smith as well. They call him the Forgotten Star. They said he was a phenomenal player. He'd always like to smile and always bring the mood up in the room, which was pretty cool. They gave him some pretty good gas there on him, which was pretty cool. And then they showed once again some in-game screenshots of what he looks like, and they said they try to make it realistic as possible to what they actually look like in real life, with the swings, the pitching animations. They had to really archive some deep footage to get these guys exact, which was pretty sick. They talked about there he is in game with his realistic card. And there's some more screenshots of him in game. A lot of these guys play for the KC Monarchs, so that's a kind of reoccurring theme you'll see throughout this video. And then next up was Rube Foster. They call him the father of black baseball. They said he was one of the really pioneers to start the Negro League. They said he was one of the owners as well as such a good baseball player. So really interesting backstory from him. Can't wait to see his card in game, because they said he was a really good power hitter. So excited to see what he's looked like. And yeah, he was one of the owners of one of the teams when they formed the original 8 teams. So it's pretty interesting as well. There's some in-game screenshots of him as well with his real-life card with the autograph. So I mean, it's really cool to see this stuff. He played for Chicago. Those uniforms are something to say. I don't know with the white C with the strip, but look pretty interesting. I don't know. It's so funny. So yeah, they also talked about a lot of interesting facts as well. So Hank Thompson was the next one, the barrier breaker. So he said when Jackie Robinson actually came up, Hank Thompson was one of those players as well with another team that isn't really talked about too much. So they kind of wanted to enlighten that and showed them his kind of story on Major League Baseball, which was pretty cool in my opinion, because I personally did not know that about that whole Jackie Robinson era when he first came up. And there were they said I think 4 or 5 other players that were black that were actually playing in Major League Baseball, which was pretty cool. So let's get more in-game screenshots, and then there's him in real life. So pretty cool. We get to see all this information and just kind of learn, because that's the best part. That's kind of what they put on their website as well. The next player, Buck O'Neil, they said this guy was, a leader. They said he was, one of the faces of, the league, I guess you could say. And he was really like, one of those guys that would really lead your team, and you get to know him, everyone would get to know him. So it was actually pretty sick. They talked very highly of all these players, and they said multiple times this is just season 1. They can't wait to put more players into the game. Coming into the 2024, obviously, for that. I don't know if they're going to keep these players in the next one. I hope they do, because it would be really interesting to see that, and then just keep putting them in the game with the storylines game mode that hopefully sticks, because I think that would be a really cool part if we get to see these guys over multiple years with different cards and everything like that, different stats maybe. There's a Buck O'Neil in game, play for the Cubs obviously, then play with the KC Monarchs in the Negro Leagues, and there he is again. So looking pretty solid in those in-game screenshots. The next one everyone's heard of, obviously Jackie Robinson, one of the pioneers to break the color barrier, and they go in depth on him and talk really about his history, which is probably the one everyone knows, to be honest. So really cool to see them talk highly of all these players and everything like that. And Jackie Robinson has a really good story. There's a lot of documentaries on him as well, if you guys want to go watch those. Some really good ones out there that people have made. So it is pretty interesting to see the backstory behind this, because the reason we like this so much, me and the chat in the streams, is just because they talked about the history so much. Once again, the in-game screenshots, and him on the Brooklyn Dodgers, and then there he is on the Monarchs. He actually played with the Monarchs in 1945 and 46, and then he played with the Brooklyn Dodgers in 47. So pretty interesting as well. And then here we go again. We have John Donaldson, not Josh Donaldson, John Donaldson, one of those really great pitchers back in the day who was really doing his thing. And honestly, probably could have won a Cy Young if they had that in the league back then. So very interesting to talk highly of him. Can't wait to see his card in game. But just like I said earlier, they talked about the history of these players, and it was just cool to really understand them. The whole chat was going crazy during the stream, you know, in my stream and their stream. So it was really cool. There was him once again in game, and then in-game screenshots and in real life. So it was really cool to see everyone talk so highly about this stream, and everyone loved it. So, you know, I think that's very cool that the community is showing a lot of support for this. Here we go, Martin Digio. I think that's how you say his name. They call him the master because, you know, he was just good at everything. He said he played all 9 positions at a high level. So very excited to see what his card is, because if he can play every position and, you know, still be a great player, that's crazy. And they also said, you know, he's one of those two-way players. So I would imagine if they're saying that, you can definitely use him as a two-way player in game. So it'll be, I think, the second card we have, except for Ohtani, that's kind of a two-way player. Well, Babe Ruth, but they haven't really put him as a two-way player yet. So interesting to see. Maybe he'll be a two-way player when we actually get in game with him. But all 9 positions, pretty much play him anywhere. Hopefully he has great hitting stats. So that was really cool to see. Once again, his in-game card with his real-life card. So very interesting to see this one, especially about, you know, 9 positions is crazy to be good at. So very cool to see him in game and in real life and everything like that, and just phenomenal history overall. Yeah, and then they went into the actual game and showed Jackie Robinson's story. So pretty interesting. This is the actual in-game part. So he's got 9 parts. They played this quick little video of Jackie Robinson and how he was, you know, breaking every records. So it's pretty sick to see all this animation and all the skills, and obviously the president once again talking so highly about him. You know, all these cinematics were really cool to see in game. We're gonna go ahead and play that out, but pretty much one of the best feature premieres, I think, for the first one that we've seen around with the show 23. This one was really good, packed a lot of history in there, packed a lot of history about each guy and everything you need to know about him, and we saw some first looks at the gameplay as well. So very excited from what's next. The next feature premiere is Tuesday the 14th on Valentine's Day. We will be live for that as well if you guys want to come to the stream. Not sure what time it is yet. They haven't really said anything yet on the time. They just said it's Tuesday in the chat. So very exciting as well. There were also Twitch drops today as well. So they said there's some really good content in those Twitch drops. So you guys got to turn that on in the future streams that they go live, and, you know, tune in to Twitch as well. So really good feature here in my opinion. Tuesday we'll be live once again with the next one. We'll see what that one's on. They haven't released anything yet. They just said it's on Tuesday. And yeah, I mean, I'm just very excited. I mean, knowing that we have Jeter, this system looks really fun to play. You know, I'm just really excited to hop into this game. Also, the packs seem really good. I mean, I just can't wait for that launch tonight, so I'm getting very excited. But if you guys enjoyed, make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe. Go check out, you know, the stream if you want to. Go check out this, you know, this video, obviously. And go check out my other videos as well. So make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe to this channel. Go follow me my TikTok, my Twitch, my YouTube, and this channel right here. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out, everyone.